What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Well, it's no secret that these two individuals, Shaquille O'Neal and Dwight Howard, have had a very rocky and acrimonious relationship over the past 15 years. And to be honest with you, this so-called beef has been totally one-sided, with Shaq telling anybody that he does not like any comparisons between himself and Dwight Howard, feeling like he's the true Superman. You know, it seems like it goes all the way back to the 2008 dunk contest, I think it was, when Dwight Howard rocked Superman cape. It's like it goes all the way back to that. Shaq just did not like Dwight Howard invoking the Superman moniker. He didn't like that, even though, to be honest with you, neither one of them owned that moniker. But anyway, on a recent episode of Shaq's podcast, the Big Podcast with Shaq, Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr., talked about the 2020 Lakers, right? The one that won that bubble title. And he talked about how, and he complained about how they blew up their roster. And he was talking about how they basically gave up their size. He was talking about guys like JaVale McGee in particular and Dwight Howard. Well, anyway, I'll tell you what. I'll play it for you.
I really feel like since the bubble, he blew up our team. We didn't even give him a chance
Lost
to
Dwight.
run it back. And
Sorry. He was on the team. They won a championship.
He was a bus rider.
oh, bro,
Bus rider.
Bus rider.
I was going to say we gave up our size
You did.
with JaVale, Kuzma.
Hold on, JaVale McGee. Get some
Yeah.
respect, but that other bus driver
Hold
stuff.
on, man.
On some people, he can pull that. Oh, I got a championship. Not with the Dundada. He can't pull that with me. Bus
He
driver.
did. He was on that team.
Superman versus Bizarro Superman. Y'all are wild, dude.
Anyway, that's a good podcast, though, man. Shaq's podcast. Please check that out, though. But look, we all know they don't like each other, man. And this goes back, like I said, to the 2008 dunk contest, but even before that. And over the years, he has indicated that he thought that other centers were better than Dwight. You know, like he brought up over the years Andrew Bynum. Andrew Bynum was a better post overall offensive player and post player than Dwight Howard. DeMarcus Cousins, I think he brought him up over the years. He just didn't think that Dwight Howard was as good as advertised. And, you know, to be fair, although I do believe that Dwight Howard is the first ballot Hall of Famer, Dwight Howard, he could have been even better. He could have been one of the at least top 20 all-time players in the history of the league. He could have been that great. But he was a little bit lazy, and as far as wanting to develop his game, he wasn't lazy as far as his effort out there on the floor. No question about that. He wasn't lazy with that, but he was a little bit lazy as far as developing his overall game to the point where he was truly an elite all-time center. And some people, notably Kobe Bryant, put out the vibes there that Dwight Howard was soft, right? We know how that first tenure with the Lakers went. It didn't go well. His second tenure with the Lakers was more successful. Now, 2019-20 season, right? Dwight Howard averaged about 7 points. Matter of fact, the exact numbers. He appeared in 69 games, 2 starts, averaged about 19 minutes a night, shot 73% from the floor, averaged 7.5 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 1.1 block per night. Okay? Solid numbers. And when you look at the per 36 minutes stats, his numbers go to 14.3 points, 14 rebounds, and 2.2 blocks per night. Matter of fact, I think Dwight Howard was 9th in Sixth Man of the Year voting. Okay? When you look at per 100 possessions, when it comes to defensive rating, I believe, I'm doing a little check right here. Yeah. When it comes to defensive rating, Dwight Howard's defensive rating was 103, which was the third best on the team behind JaVale McGee's, who was 101, and Anthony Davis, who was 102. Okay? So, he was balling, man. And per 100 stats, per 100 possessions, Dwight Howard was averaging 18.8 points and 18.5 rebounds. So when you look at his defensive impact, what he brought to the table, was he their marquee guy? No, their marquee players were Anthony Davis and LeBron James, obviously, right? People forget how loaded that team was, too. People totally forget that like he said, Kyle Kuzma was on that team. Danny Green was on that team. KCP was on that team. Avery Bradley was on that team. Alex Caruso was on that team. Rajon Rondo was on that team. So when people talk about LeBron's carry bums, like, what are you talking about, bro? That was a stacked team. But yeah, I would say, yeah, Dwight Howard wasn't the man, but Dwight Howard was definitely a major contributor on that team. Major contributor. With his rebounding, with his interior defense, and hell, I remember him being a great help defender, even outside of the paint, because he was 34 years old at the time. He wasn't the force that he once was, but no, I remember him and JaVale McGee. Their size, my goodness, man, their size was monster. That was a great defensive team. In fact, let me look at this 2019-20 Lakers team. They went 52-19. They averaged 113 points a night. They gave up 107.6 points per night. The defensive rating was 106.3, which was third in the league. Yeah, this team was great, man. That was the last great Lakers team. But of course, because Rob Pelinka blew the team up, which, by the way, LeBron Ramon James had a big input in that, but people like to take that out of the equation. LeBron helped to blow that team up because LeBron wanted them to suddenly become the Los Angeles Warriors. So you get rid of JaVale McGee, you get rid of Dwight Howard, and you bring on Marc Gasol. Slow ass, way out of his prime, Marc Gasol. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, no, I don't agree that Dwight Howard was a bus rider. No. I don't like that terminology because a bus rider, it basically implies that you're not contributing at all. You're just along for the ride while other people are doing everything. No. That's I don't like that terminology when it comes to that. If you're talking about, some guys that are ass splinters on the bench, will have ass splinters on their ass, sitting on the bench, only coming in blowout situations. I mean, that could make a little bit more sense, even though I think they contribute too. But no, Dwight Howard was a major contributor, man. That's bull. Shaq just is a hater at this point, bro. Shaq is a very spiteful guy. And I think it comes from the fact that, when he first came into the league in 1992, Shaq got a lot of hype. Shaq got a lot of attention. Shaq hadn't done any damn thing. And the great big men of the time, in particular, Wilt Chamberlain, but also Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to an extent Bill Russell, to an extent Bill Walton, all of the great big men, honestly. Robert Parrish, Bob Lanier, Wes Unseld, anybody that was asked the question said, yeah, Shaq had the potential, but he hadn't done anything yet. And to be honest with you, they all said, for the most part, that he had to win a championship to be considered one of those all-time greats. So I think that stayed with Shaq, man. So now that he's in a position where he's an elder, he's really, really hard on these guys, man. And to be honest with you, part of that's a good thing, but Dwight Howard is personal. And I have my questions about what it could be, man. Like, I don't think it's just a Superman thing, man. I don't think it's just the fact that Dwight Howard wore the jersey and that just got in the skin, man. I swear there's something else going on, you know what I'm saying? Something within the NBA realm that we don't particularly know about. I've heard rumors what it could be. Because it don't make no sense, man. It don't make sense. Like every time, like he just never has anything nice to say about Dwight Howard. And you would think, and I get it, whatever. I'm not gonna go down that road. I'm not gonna go down that road. But it just don't make sense that he still goes after Dwight Howard like this and say, "Oh, that one championship don't mean that." Well, it means something. Hell. There's a lot of great players in the history of the league that don't have any titles. None. And they're great, but they just never were able to win. And what I do remember about Dwight Howard was that he had to humble himself and realize he was no longer a star player and, be a contributor. Be the best role player you could be. Which, by the way, the Lakers could use in LeBron James to finally get into his thick, balding head. Hey, I'm better off being a role player at this point. Let's cede the team to Anthony Davis. But no, the ego can't do that. And that's why the Lakers need the play-in tournament to go to the playoffs now. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it, man. Tell me what you guys think.